one of the most important discussions that I can have with you right now is about this critical level right down here at $25,000. It's far away and a lot of people aren't thinking about it, but with the current price and how important this support level is, you would be a fool if you don't pay attention to it. So don't worry, I got your back. I'm going to be covering you right here in this YouTube video. Before we get to that, let's cover what we've been seeing so far. I haven't been talking too much about the market because nothing has really been happening, and as a result, nothing has particularly been changing. We have seen the long and short ratio even out a little bit more, which is perfect. Fear and greed really leveling out in these kind of neutral to greedy areas. And we're seeing things, level out again a little bit more on Bybit as well, where Bybit was majority long for quite some days and now majority short. No big changes here, and that is a good sign, ladies and gents. That is a good sign for us right now, because what it means is that overall, if we do just kind of really strip everything off this chart and look at it for what it really is, we have had, and I've said this so many times now, you're already going to know the deal if you're subscribed. I've said this, that we've trended up, had a correction, trended up, had a correction, trended up, and now we're just in another correction. So if the overarching trend is extremely clear that we are trending up, and if we're basically either pausing and trading sideways or pausing and trading downwards during this uptrend, then we're not doing anything different right now. We're not doing anything substantial. We're not doing anything concerning. We're not doing anything out of the ordinary. In fact, I would argue that we're doing exactly what we should be doing, which is trending up and then pausing and then trending up and then pausing. That's what happens in an uptrend. Extremely clear, and that's why it sounds very clear the way I'm telling it to you right now. If you strip away all the bullshit, all you have on this chart is an uptrend followed by a correction, followed by an uptrend, followed by a correction, followed by an uptrend where we swept this high. So we have technically trended higher and we are now correcting. So we have different forms of correction. Sometimes they are time-based corrections like this. Sometimes they are price-based corrections like this. Sometimes they're sharp and sometimes they're not sharp. So that is all absolutely beautiful. And everything still lines up exactly where we want it to. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Now, as far as our shorter term areas of support go, if we look at this chart right here, for example, on the 4-hour time frame, we are still finding support very, very nicely off this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there. We've successfully bounced out of it once and twice, and we're now dipping into it again. This is where the problems start to come from, and I will be talking to you about that before we get to the 25k area of support that I promised to talk about at the beginning of this video. These immediate areas on the price chart are starting to become concerning. Bitcoin has been trending sideways for a long time. It's been given a chance to allow momentum support to catch up. Here's the daily EMA ribbon. Here's the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. We have had everything that I told you I'm waiting for happen, yet the market still hasn't trended up. So when you start doing stuff like that, what you're actually doing is you're being put in a bullish situation and you're not doing anything with it. It's like you've been given a government grant for a phenomenal business idea or just for college, tuition fees, and you've just decided to do nothing with it. And that is a sign of, squandering your potential. That is a sign of basically fucking up and not doing what you were supposed to. And I'm right now suddenly very worried that my audio isn't working properly. So I'm just going to check this. Okay, we're good. So I just wanted to check that while live because I just had a little flash of terror. And so, we've basically messed this up. We haven't been able to use it yet. And look, it's not gone yet. We haven't lost the opportunity yet. We are still sideways, like I said. So nothing has actually changed. We are still consolidating. But as far as these areas of support go, we are basically out of time. We've got just another 3-4 days for Bitcoin to break out. So basically towards the end of this week. And if we don't, we're going to lose the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. It's not all doom and gloom. The daily EMA ribbon, I mean, we could just trade sideways and chill fucking sipping pina coladas here for like a month and we're still good. So I don't want the bears to be getting too excited here. A lot of you guys, I don't know about a lot of you guys, you must have just been a very vocal minority, but a lot of people just completely missed the point of my most recent video where I was talking about a $6,000, $12,000 Bitcoin. You clearly didn't watch the beginning and the end and the middle of the video, where at every part that I told you what I actually think, I told you that I don't think we're going to drop down. You know, but a lot of people just I don't know, they miss important facts like that, or whatever the case is. Not my fucking problem. That's your issue if you can't pay attention to extremely clear information like that. I'm still strongly expecting the upside regardless of everything I'm telling you, and my job as an analyst, my job as a trader who has made hundreds of thousands of dollars in my current long position, is to make sure that I am questioning myself, and that I am seeing how I can disprove myself, because that is you know, the way that you keep your money safe, and that is the way that you make money in these markets. So obviously it's not a particularly comfortable thought experiment, you know, constantly second guessing myself, and, you know, doubting myself and telling myself why I might be wrong, and of course coming behind a microphone and doing the same thing. It's not comfortable, but it is comfortable to sit in a Ferrari. So you do with that what you like. And so this daily EMA ribbon right here, you know, also, I mean, just showing us that Bitcoin has so much time. So, you know, even though in these shorter term time frames we're starting to get some signs that, you know, maybe we're running out of time and we're doing things that we perhaps shouldn't, it is very clear to me overall that we're still doing okay. We're still doing a lot of what we want to do. So I'm still happy with what I'm seeing here. I'm still expecting that next leg up. And if it does come, this chart illustrates it beautifully what I would be looking at. If we actually just go ahead and drag this line over here. Whoa. I guess I did that wrong. What? All right, well, the line should have been drawn up to here. And then we put this down here at the beginning of our uptrend here. That does give us a target of $36,000. I have no idea how this line got shorter. I would not have drawn it incorrectly before. I did it on video with you guys, so you would know. But yeah, there we go. That is where, you know, the target is for me. You know, really anything in the mid $30,000 range is going to be looking pretty good to me. And these are still, you know, easily a 10% move up, I think, if we start to clear this resistance. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on in this video as well. You know, but that to me would be very, very interesting indeed. And of course, it would bring a lot more profit for myself, and for many others that are trading these markets. I do want to highlight to you that I'm only using the exchanges that are linked in the description down below. bingx remains one of the coolest offers in the crypto space, because you are getting access to stocks, forex, indices, commodities. You can trade fucking Tesla with leverage, bro. That is so crazy. Just with Bitcoin and without KYC. That means no pictures of yourself or your ID. So very, very competitive offer there. You know, great for privacy-minded individuals who want to trade these markets normally, but also who want to trade traditional finance. This is really cool. And, you know, I'm watching these markets. I'm not talking about it as much, but I am watching these markets regularly to see where these trading opportunities are. Because a lot of the time, it just happens to be the case that it's easier to make money as a stock trader. So, you know, that's pretty useful as well. And of course, Bybit, you already know the deal, is the best exchange in the space as far as I'm concerned. I've been with them for years, even since before they started to work with me on this YouTube channel here, and I loved them back then as well. So my love for them has only grown because they remain the best players in the space. And if you want to trade on this platform with up to $30,000 of free money, they will give that to you when you deposit and start trading using my link in the description down below. So that is free money up to $30,000 that you can trade with. Any profits that you generate are yours to keep. So very, very cool offer there. If we do move back to the video here, now here's where the discussion gets a little bit more spicy, all right? If we're looking at Bitcoin losing this area of support, then basically what this is one huge leg up. And, you know, a lot of you guys have already kind of pointed out that this is starting to look like your typical BART pattern. And then the price starts dropping down a little bit like this. And the reason I think a lot of people are going to be expecting that is, you know, if you've held a floor for a really long time and then you lose that floor, that is, again, a really bad sign, right? Like, that is a sign that, you know, you've held onto something for a really long period of time and it just kind of didn't work. And that's going to make a lot of people lose faith in the market. I'm going to give you a really famous and very long drawn out example of this. I want to know how many of you have seen this. I've already asked you these questions before, but how many of you are sticking around? That's why it's interesting to ask the same questions over and over. How many of you were here when Bitcoin crashed below 6K? And then how many of you were here watching this channel? Because you're going to remember that just before this big drop happened, I actually set short orders and made 60% profit on this drop. So that was pretty cool. On the move up, I also traded it from here up to about here, and I made one of the biggest gains of my life. Both of those trades were shared inside of VIP as well, which you can check out by following these links on screen right here, or by pausing the video to follow these steps right here. You know, the 6K range, the reason this was interesting was because we held the same area of support for a really long period of time, but then when we lost it, everyone just lost faith in the market. And that's why the market, you know, if you weren't around, I'll just recap this for you. Within a month, the market halved. So imagine that happens right now. It's July 12th. Imagine by August 12, bro, you've got plans in August. I know you're planning to like go on some fucking little vacation getaway with your girl or with your friends or with your parents. We've all got plans in August. Imagine by then the market halves in price. That's what happened right here from November 15 to December 15 of 2018. And that's what happens when you lose critical areas of support, is you drop hard. So we start bringing this back to 25K now, you know, and you kind of, you know, you're going to start to understand what I'm getting at here. But before we even get that far, let's talk about this area of support. See, this is the thing, is like this, imagine this is a mini 6K. If we lose this $30,000 area of support that we've been bouncing off constantly now for weeks, for 3 weeks we've been here, you know, we are probably going to see a similar, you know, kind of loss of faith. Obviously not as big of, you know, not on such a big scale probably, you know, and so for me the next major area of support wouldn't be 50% below, but only in this case 17% below from our current price. So nothing particularly scary from that perspective, but I would be expecting a bigger drop. Now, I've already spoken to you about support right here at kind of 28.6, and I still believe that to be the case. This is a very good area to expect Bitcoin to pick up some support, and, you know, it could definitely go like this, where, you know, it does end up forming the bot pattern, but only down to here, and then we kind of like do some, you know, weird salsa over here, and then just fuck off back to space. You know, and that would be our ideal. Did I just say salsa? Is that the name of the dancing? That's how uncultured I am. And you know, like that would be amazing, you know, and there's good reason to believe that that's going to happen. You know, first of all, let's just look at the daily Ichimoku cloud. You know, we've got, well, we don't have support right here. We do have daily EMA ribbon support, I'm guessing. Yeah, we do. So we do have daily EMA ribbon support around here. On the Ichimoku cloud, interestingly, it's not down here. It's a little bit lower. And that's actually the next thing I was going to get to, is that even if we lose this area, it's the reason I haven't removed any of these lines. There's still really good support at every stage here. You know, if we throw the VPVR on this chart, which you guys know that I love to use so much, you know, you can really start to appreciate that there is a big volume spike in the market right here at about $28,000, and that volume spike basically stays more or less until 26.7. This is probably our final line right here. If we lose this level, then 25K becomes inevitable, in my opinion. That's also what happened back here. So obviously there have been fake outs though. So that's what I'm going to be looking at, is, you know, like there's a lot of volume here. So if Bitcoin kind of falls into this range, there's a lot of reason to expect support. But if it fails, 25K is next. And this is what I want to focus on now. Like the scale, how big, how serious 25K is. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys, other than, you know, we were warning about this level since, you know, way back. We knew that 25K was going to be important as resistance, and we certainly knew it was going to bounce off here as support. Many of you guys were watching this YouTube channel when I made that prediction with you guys so boldly. I don't make bold predictions often. You know, I'm always like, you know, may happen, you know, whatever. And I always say that anyway, but this is an important point, right? You guys that watch me over time, like, you know, I'm not here to just make a video, you know, once a month and then fuck off and then not come back. Like, no, I'm developing my analysis every single day, right? Like, I'm looking at the charts every day. Best believe I'm developing it, and that's why I'm coming here with you guys on this YouTube channel. So you guys have actually been able to, those of you that are subscribed, you're gonna know this, that you've been able to watch me gain confidence in my ideas or lose confidence in my ideas as time goes on, as the market gives me more information. You know, some of you think that's a bad thing. Those of you that actually know how to make money know that that is one of the best things that I'm actually doing in my analysis. And what I want to encourage you guys to do as well is always be on the lookout for how the market dynamics can be changing, and ask yourself the question, should I change my conclusion? So far, my answer has been an unequivocal no, and my money speaks for it. I'm still in the same long position that you guys have heard me talking about for months now. I just don't need to get out. My conviction still tells me that I'm in the right place. I might be wrong, and that's okay. I've made my calculated risks. I've done my whatever. I've made my decisions, and this is where I'm at. But we come back to the 25k level, and we already knew how significant this area of support was, and we've already back tested it too. So, this is basically the level now where, like, if we do get down to it, you better hope that Bitcoin finds some support off it. But if we do come back down to it, you keep in mind, we've already back tested this area. Here's where it gets a little bit scary, right? If you look at what happened way back, we're going to go back to 2015 now on this chart. Look at this right here. If you look at what happened right here, let's look at the logarithmic scale, just to make this a little bit easier. And we drop a little horizontal line at this area of resistance. Look at this. So we had, whatever, a little bit of support here, a little bit of support here, and then resistance, right? And look at this. We're finding resistance, by the way, to put this in perspective, from the first instance of resistance until the day we break it is 300 days. So, basically 10 months. Absolutely crazy how long-term this area of resistance was. Look at what happens. We actually backtest it and find major support off this level, and we kick off a huge rally where the price rallies up by 60% in just over a month. Absolutely huge rally from this support level, but we did not come back down. And this is a really important point, guys. If you bounce off a critical area of support, but your bounce wasn't strong enough to stay up, in this case, Bitcoin never came back down to this support area, which, by the way, was at $300. And, that was it. That was 20K, after, just over a year. So if you bounce off a critical area of support, but you don't actually stay above that area of support and you fall back down to it, then that is going to tell you a lot about how much strength the market doesn't have. If the market doesn't have a lot of strength, it might get a bounce off 25k, but if it doesn't have much strength, it's not going to stay above 25k. It's going to come back down. And that would be what the market shows us if we return to the 25k level now. It would show us that we've bounced off our $300 area of support. This equivalent area of support, we've bounced off it already. We come back down here, we are potentially in trouble. That is going to be a major sign that things could get bad for Bitcoin quickly. But that's just the first reason that this is actually quite an important thing to consider. The second one is, what about all the people that have bought Bitcoin, that have gone long on Bitcoin? Where are their stop losses going to be, right? Like, a lot of the stop losses for Bitcoin right now, and the reason that a lot of people are saying we might drop down briefly and then come back up is, these stop losses are probably going to be around here, right? Like, a lot of the people that have built their long positions in this range, you've gone long off the low ideally, or off the middle, or even off the top if you're very, very excited and trigger happy, but it doesn't really matter where you went long. I already know that your stop loss is going to be somewhere in this little block here. And the market makers know that too, and that's why we're probably we're kind of angled for a little bit of a drop on the short term, whatever, it doesn't really matter, and then maybe a drop, and then maybe continuing on higher. That's on a small scale. Now, if we zoom out, the next obvious level, if we really look at this broadly, is going to be around here. This is going to be where the next big block of stop losses will be. And, what you need to understand, and this is why it's really important to have a really good education as a crypto trader. It's what I obviously bring forward to you guys inside of the 𝗬𝗙𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Academy that you get for free a lot of the time when you join VIP. Just reach out, direct message me following these steps to get the information on it. What you need to understand about this stuff, and again, what we teach in that course, is that when you have a long position or a buy position close, the only way, I put it, again, and I've said this before, so you already know the deal, but, for those of you that, want to recap, or you haven't heard this before, let's say that you've sold me 10 bananas, all right? And that is a position, that is a trading position. I'm holding them for investments, whatever. It's super weird. And now I want to, close that. I don't want the exposure to these bananas anymore. The price of them are dropping too low. It looks like a failed business venture. The only way I can close my banana position is by selling my bananas. And if people don't want to buy them in the first place, so the price is dropping, then I'm going to have to sell them at an even cheaper price until I find a buyer. And that's what happens to Bitcoin. when we see these really big spikes, it happens in reverse. And when we see these really big drops, that's what happens to Bitcoin. There are no buyers, but people are desperately having to sell. They've been stopped out of their position. They've been liquidated. The only way you close an open position is by selling what you hold, and that pushes the price even lower, and it pushes it down fast. And 25K is probably going to be almost like a dam. Imagine it as a dam, and there's just a huge body of water behind it. You best fucking hope that that dam doesn't crack. Because if it does, we could be looking at a massive, massive waterfall situation here with a waterfall sell-off. So, that's the second major reason, to pay attention to it. And it is going to be one of those levels where, if you lose it, the thing that people don't quite understand is a lot of the time, it's not as simple as, like the 6K range that I showed you earlier today in this video right here. This was very simple. It's on and off. Are we above 6K? Okay, we're good. If we're below 6K, we're probably in deep shit, with the exception of a few, wicks and stuff like that. We're probably in deep shit. We all kind of knew that. And that made it really easy, and that's why the market also dropped very quickly. But a lot of the time, it's not actually black and white like that. A lot of the time, you lose one area of support, and that is a major blow. It's almost like you've got a... Imagine this, it's like you've got the fear and greed index, right? You've got the fear and greed index right here, and like you're over here, but then you lose a major area of support and it sets you back here. You lose another major area of support, it sets you back here. And by the time you're like, okay, I need more confirmation, whatever, by the time you've gone through that cycle a million times, the price is already down here, so it's kind of too late. And that's why the riskiest people make the most money, but they also risk the most money as well. So I'm just trying to explain these market dynamics in a way for you that are really easy to digest, because when you start to see it that way, it's critically important to understand this fully, because when you do start to see it that way, then when you are out on the field, when you are actually ripping these trades in these markets, you're going to know exactly what the fuck is going on, mate, and that is going to be very, very good for you. So there you go. Your boy 𝗬𝗢𝗧𝗧 is always looking out for you. So this 25K area, formidable, area of support. That's probably not the right word to use, but quite an important area of support right here. And if it does fall, definitely, quite likely to find some trouble, for Bitcoin. And then the next area of support below that are going to be, for me, 21.5 area is just phenomenal. I mean, it's exactly where I entered my long for a very good reason. It's the FTX crash. This is kind of where that crash started from, is around about over here, and we found support off it in February of this year. We topped out over here in November of last year. Historically important level, very psychologically charged level, definitely a good area of support. Other than that, I'm going to be looking at kind of 19.6, 20K, around there also as good areas of support. So these areas would definitely make sense. And even below 25K, I've already covered with you the possibility of the price kind of just grabbing some liquidity down here and then moving back up, and that would be completely fine by me too. But the other main thing that I've already kind of spoken about a little bit is I don't even want to see the price come back down here, because that's going to tell me that this wasn't a particularly strong rally. So far it looks fine. So far we've moved up and we haven't changed the status quo, so we're good. We're actually really good from that perspective. But if we start to lose this and we start coming substantially lower, back down to the place where this move actually started, I don't like that. That's going to be a sign to me that the market just hasn't had that much strength. So really important discussion to be having right now. A lot of people, this is the thing about these sideways ranges, is if you're weak up here, if you're new, if you whatever, these kind of price ranges where for 3 weeks the price just does nothing and you're just overthinking everything, redlining your brain every single day. They're gonna make you shake yourself out. They're gonna make you lose conviction in your own ideas. That's what they're designed to do, and that is certainly what they achieve as well. So these videos, I'm commenting on what's going on. Like I know what people are thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing. We're all on the same page here. I'm just paying attention to my experience and my knowledge a little bit more than what other people might do, and hopefully that gives me an edge. Typically it seems to do so. So I'm quite happy with that. And at the same time, just reminding you guys of, what I'm looking at, showing you guys how my analysis picture is developing as time goes on, why I'm staying stuck in the same opinions and why I'm starting to challenge those opinions. And, that is all part of the due process of a trader, So I know that you're absolute legend. You've made it to the end of the video. You understand this stuff very well. The good news for you is that your competition doesn't. Your competition flip-flops like this every single day. You know the game, right? I mean, you're here on YouTube or playing the game. You know what I'm trying to say. I just can't quite say it. And at the same time, if you actually watch the videos, you'll see that we've been remarkably consistent since 17K actually. And it's all about just kind of balancing these probabilities. And as long as you can do that, you're going to be in a really good position. So there you go. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. You know exactly what to do. I want to give you a reminder about all of the amazing offers with the links in the description down below. OKX running their 60K rewards campaign again. This is up to $60,000 available for you when you sign up to OKX and start trading and so on. So definitely do check that out if you are interested in the biggest crypto bonus I've ever seen for an exchange. And then BingX as well, I have to highlight, with access to these traditional finance markets, is quite spectacular. And of course, Bybit, if you just want to be at the best of the best, up to 30K in free money to trade with. Anything you do with it, any profits yours to, you can withdraw them. Super, super cool. Check it all out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.